So Mick Jagger, he's not very tall, but
he's fantastic.
Got a huge personality.
He's fantastic. He's fucking megastar. He's fantastic.
But when he saw you, right?
He went, because you're from Gravesend. I can smell it. And I went, I am, and you're just from down the road.
And I can smell it, yes. So you got on like a house on fire.
We did get on like a house on fire.
So you weren't intimidated?
Not at all intimidated. Not at all intimidated.
Okay.
And he was like, he's Leo.
Oh yes, he is.
Yeah, he's Leo.
Well, I have to ask because you want to know why. If I don't ask, anything romantic or because he is known as a bit of a
I think he screwed everybody.
Yeah.
But no, we were great friends.
Did he buy the dinner?
Oh yeah, of course he bought the dinner. But I saw there was actually a guy. Now he bored me. And I feel terrible because he's dead. There was this guy on Mystique called Baron.
Care now.
He was a baron. He was called Arnaud de Ross, and he's a very good-looking guy. And he had a fantastic house, and he got this beautiful girlfriend. He bought her a black pearl ring. Anyway, I'd been to a couple of dinners with Mick at his house, right? But I found the guy incredibly boring, and I feel a bit bad now because he was a windsurfer. He was a sort of champion. So there was one, so I said to Mick, I went, no, I'm not going. I've been twice. I'm not going. He's boring, and so it was quite nice to be able to say this. But Mick went, please come and all that, and he went, we go if you get bored, we go. So sounds impressive, actually, doesn't it? What bit was it?
I don't really know what to say at this point.
It was just like we were mates. So I went, all right then, Mick. And put on my glad rags and we went to this thing. And sure enough, after we had dinner at this guy's house, he takes us through to the cinema room and we all have to watch a film about this guy.
About him?
About him. About Baron Arnaud de Rosnay. And there's this film and it's showing him on surfing on the water and everything. And I'm sitting there, I'm like... And Mick can see I'm beginning to twitch.
Was he like a world known surfer? So that's why that appealed.
Yeah.
Oh right, so you just weren't into surfing?
No, I wasn't into him. It was the show off. He was a bore. Like Mick Jagger's a bloody superstar. It's not a show off.
He didn't make you watch a film about his life.
No, he didn't. Actually, no, he didn't.
You do that,
he did want to borrow my face creams quite a lot, but that's not the story.
That's another story. We don't
that's not the story. But so I'm twitching. There's these guests being very. I was very ballsy when I was young. I didn't do polite. If I was pissed off, I was like, let everyone know. Right. So now I might have just sat there watching this boring film.
No, I think you still would have.
Do you think?
Yeah.
So he said. So Mick suddenly went to me, because they were showing sharks. So there were pictures of sharks. Then there was pictures of him gliding through the water. Right, so it's basically he's out surfing with all these sharks.
And he's not scared.
Yeah, the Baron. Yeah. So Mick suddenly leans across and he went, Susie, have you noticed that the water's different colour? And I went, what? He went, the water's different colour. So I looked and it was just, so I went, oh my God, because I thought, it's true, the water with the sharks then they were showing him.
Oh, so it made it look like, but it wasn't real.
But guess
what? He shouldn't have told you, Susie. Mick should never have told you that.
But listen, shall I tell you what I feel really terrible about
It's not going to end well, is it?
It's not going to end well. Years later, not that many years later.
I'm uncomfortable already, yes.
Arnaud de Rosnay actually disappeared surfing. I can't say. I've always had troubles with V's and F's. It's one who ever did acting, but he was surfing. He was surfing, and he was probably eaten by sharks. I know. And I just moaned about this guy all my life, right? And it's so boring. And he actually ended up being eaten by sharks. So I feel really bad now.
Oh, I feel bad. I knew it wasn't going to end well.
No. And he had this beautiful, beautiful fiancée where he was always telling us about the Black Pearl bloody engagement ring.
How old was he when he was eaten by a shark?
He wasn't that old, actually. And he'd been a playboy in the south of France, and then he had met this...
Oh, he'd had a good life, though.
Yeah, he'd had a good life, but it's not... Well,
no, nobody
I don't
wants
know.
to go that way, do
Not
they?
fun to get. But anyway, I had Mick Jagger. It's great company. If you ever can spend time with Mick Jagger, do, because he's not boring. He's not off his own
do you know
fun,
what,
and he's great with. You know, you get some people they only do women, and some people only do men. You know,
He's
they
very good
communicate.
with that, yeah.
He's just great company.
The thing is, Susie, I don't think I'm ever going to have to worry about what Mick and I will talk about, because I've got that feeling, call it sixth sense or psychic, but my psychic work is saying, no, don't worry about it, Yvette, move on. Right, I'm going to move you on, because Susie is an actress, has done numerous commercials. Brookside, you may recognise her from Brookside, Rude Health. I mean, numerous.
Quite a lot of has been stuff.
No.
I'm a very happy has been. I think
that should be sung. I'm a happy has been. I like that.
I'm a has been and I don't care. What's that I wear? I went out for lumberjack actually. I
don't want to know what happened to the lumberjack.
I wear women's clothes.
So, was eaten by a bear. Right, now.
This bra, I wish I had see your bra, right, with those. This bra, right, I haven't got, like, what is it with this bra? It's so uncomfortable.
Do you know what? I had a mother, right? Well, we've all had a mother. God rest her soul, but I had a mother that...
I've noted, can I just say something?
Can I just finish?
I've just noted that you sit so beautifully. Look at your posture. And I'm see, it's all like for the camera, right? Because look, I'm slouching around like I'm so relaxed. Look, right, I'm going to do a bit of that now.
I'm an ex-dancer, so I, from being very young, that's why I said...
I remember.
So can I just finish my bra story? Well, actually, it's too boring, isn't it? I won't
No, it's not. Ballet? Was it ballet?
I was from being very young. I went away to drama school when I was 12, and because I had an accent, a northern accent, they said I wasn't allowed to join the other children who could talk frightfully were from London, and I was from Newcastle. So of course,
are you from Newcastle?
Yeah. So I couldn't.
I've forgotten that.
I've forgotten a lot about me. So I had to learn to speak correctly.
That was a bit raw, wasn't it? Naughty Yvette.
So, I was a bit.
We go on for hours, but you do look fantastic. So what dancing was it?
So I was a professional dancer. So I had to do half a day singing, half a day acting, and all the rest of it, and then the rest was.
Did you do cruise ships at one time?
No, I've never done a cruise ship.
Oh, that's God. That sounds insulting. I thought when you did the.
No, I did theatres around Spain, Barcelona,
Madrid.
It.
That's what I'm getting
confused. And then I would do
at.
like the lovable modelling tours of the underwear going round, and then
lovable. That was a good range, wasn't it?
It was a good range, but
is that one of them?
No. I'm wearing the same bra that I wore as a teenager because I'm quite tight with my money.
I think that's the problem I've got with this bra, right? Because I've got clothes since the old king died. I think this is from when I was a teenager. That's the problem with it. Did the dog just blow off? Did the dog?
Yeah, I think so. It's all going back.
The dog just farted.
The dog just farted. Oh my God. Yeah, no.
Should we start again?
Can I interview you for just 5 minutes?
Do you have to start all over?
No, we're not starting from the beginning. My daughter's panicking. The dog farted, but we don't have to start from the beginning.
Listen, can I interview you just 5 minutes? Can I?
But you're far more interesting. Can we just crack on?
No, okay, we'll just do a little. Listen, just do a little bit. Listen. Yvette?
Yes.
So,
Susie,
were you actually born in Newcastle?
I'm from Newcastle. I'm a Geordie. I'm an authentic Geordie. So if you.
But you were born there. You were born there.
I'm looking for work at the moment.
We both are. Mick, come back. Always forgiven.
Christ almighty.
I'd rather have David Bowie. No, I didn't say that. No, I love David Bowie. He's still alive, actually, as far as I'm concerned. Listen, so you grew up in Newcastle till you were 12.
Till I was 12, and then I went away to school. I saw a documentary about a child star, and I said, Mum, I want to go to that school. I want to go to that school.
That's like the sort of Gravesend story.
And they said, you can't go to that school because it's so many children audition every year, you'll never
Wait,
get
who
in.
said that? Your mum and dad?
My mum and dad. And they said, we don't want you to be disappointed.
So you the same, you didn't get any...
So there's no boarding, and they said, there's no boarding school, you'd have to go and live in a boarding house, we'd have to find you somewhere to live, you can't go. But anyway, I auditioned, I got in because I'm...
So that's not exactly what you call supportive parents,
So
actually.
I left home.
If you were Jewish, you're not Jewish, right?
No.
If you're Jewish people get told, lots of Jewish, hey, Mr. Cameraman,
Yes,
do you
yes.
remember the beautiful John Benson?
I do.
My first,
Did he pass away?
yeah, pancreatic
sure,
cancer,
yeah.
but he was my first boyfriend in
pancreatic
London.
cancer.
Yeah, he was gorgeous,
He
my
was
John.
gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Was the manager of the All Saints.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, Jewish people, a lot of I had more than one Jewish boyfriend.
I married a Jewish man.
But they get told, in general, very young about they can do anything. They can do anything, and it makes such a difference to your thinking.
Yeah, it does.
Because-
It changes your life. But I'm going to take you back, Susie.
So that's what I'm saying. But you were told, oh, we're not doing you.
No, we're not doing me. Nobody wants to hear about me.
Can I do Yvette one time?
Yeah, because nobody wants to hear about me. So
Right.
go back to you because you've got far more
I'll stay with
interesting
that.
life. Huh?
They do want to hear about you.
I was just
You'll have to
gonna.
interview you, we'll reverse it one day.
Yeah, one day we'll reverse it because it would be nice actually to
Yeah.
have little bits on
Yeah.
because
Yeah, no, I'd love to.
I have done some interesting things.
I know.
And I had a very
Tell us about
interesting.
when you were dancing abroad, you were telling me about that story.
Oh
earlier.
yeah, when I was dancing abroad. So
Wait, can I just go from
Yeah.
because it's confusing if for the 3 people that are going to watch this.
Oh no, that's rude.
That's too much.
That's way too rude. That's above and beyond. Yeah, so for the 3
No, listen.
the 3
So
men
you
who
were told.
danced.
So you had no encouragement from your parents. You wanted to go to this. Then what happened?
So then I went to an audition and they
How
had.
did you get to an audition?
Well, my parents took me. I mean, they weren't not interested, but they just didn't want me to be disappointed.
Right. Okay.
So my parents had a very interesting background. So it wasn't like a family that never did anything. I won't go into it, but they were my dad was quite a fascinating man, had a fascinating life. But anyway, so what he did was he said, all right, I'll take you and we'll just go through with it, the motions of it. So they had 2, I think that there was 2 spaces left, over 1,000 kids auditioned, and I got them.
Yeah.
And they said, my dad said, tell her she hasn't got the part because she hasn't got a part in the school because ultimately, you know, she's too young, and we can come back next year and she can audition. And they said, no, we think it's only fair to give her opportunity.
Oh my God! But say that. That's terrible. But say they had agreed with
Came
that.
from a good place, though, with my dad. It came from a good place. But so he said, all right, well, let's tell her she got in. So I got the letter, I got in, big fuss, found a boarding house. But of course, there was only 2 kids that didn't go home at night. And that was myself and another kid who was in Coronation Street at the time. And he was from somewhere like Macclesfield. And of course, I was teased because of my accent. Then I was taken out of the class until I could learn to speak correctly. And you know, it was all very show busy. Yeah, it was all very show busy, and I was very northern, and you know, and even though my parents, you know, weren't like country bumpkins or anything, it was a different life. It was a tough life, but I knew then a lot of the kids were going to stay on and go into the other part of the school at 16, but I was very focused. I knew that I was going to. I wanted to travel, I wanted to do other things. I'd had enough of school. 16, I'd had enough.
It sounds like we were like completely similar in that
Leos,
aspect.
yeah. So I wanted
You're on an agenda.
I wanted my equity card, so I had to earn enough contract, and so I got a contract abroad as a dancer. And I travelled.
I'll do a few moves now.
But what was
Wait, can we
interesting?
dance? Let's dance at the end.
Can I just say about the dancing thing?
Well, I'm going to get my posture
Right.
up like
Right.
yours. That's it.
The thing about the dancing, right, is that I was asked to go to France to do the what is it in France?
Moulin Rouge.
The Moulin Rouge.
Were you?
But I didn't
What?
go.
Not can?
Yeah, can all of that. But I turned
I'd
it down
love to
because I went to Spain and I worked in a theatre there, and the dance troupe lady who was in charge was from the Moulin Rouge, and she was my dance captain. She was very strict with us. But what was really interesting was there was all the jewel bras and the feathers and all the rest of
fantastic.
it. And the can. And one night I was doing the can, jumped up in the air, did the splits, couldn't get out the splits. My body got stuck. Anyway, it's another story. But what they'd offer you is 10 quid a boob to get your boobs out. So obviously, if you just wanted to get one boob out and wear the jewel bra underneath.
What? In the Moulin Rouge?
No, this was when I was over in Barcelona.
Oh, right, okay.
So in the theatre, they'd say, if you want to go topless to the girls, well, you'll get more money. So we'll give you like £10 a boob. And I said, what happens if you just want to get one boob out? I guess that's only like a tenner. So each boob was obviously only worth a tenner. So if you got 2 boobs out, you got 20 quid on top of your wages. And I thought, but because I had very large breasts, I thought... So of course they asked me, did I want, because I had a special jewelled bra that because my breasts were so big.
Have you still got it?
No. But I had this special because they were so large. Anyway, I said, it's not for me. So I didn't get my breasts out. I didn't get that extra 20 quid. But the 2 girls that decided for a tenner each a boob, they had no breasts. I couldn't quite work it out. So they didn't care about dancing, but it was all very tasteful. Anyway, can we go back to Pirelli calendar? Pirelli calendar. Now,
that was fun. So in actual fact, I was thinking...
Annie Leibovitz, she's a famous photographer. She photographed a lot of the girls for Pirelli. She was my next door neighbour.
Well, who was the photographer that was lucky enough to do David Bowie's wife? I love everything about David Bowie. To me, Marne has got to be one of the most incredible women in the entire world because David Bowie couldn't be with anyone for 26 years. It wasn't completely,
I know.
Absolutely.
But Susie Ann, I'm going to rail you back in.
Okay.
How did you...
I do like mixed music too.
It's about you, not David Bowie.
No, but it's birthday coming. It's a very sensitive time for Bowie fans.
So, back to you. Pirelli calendar. Girls would kill to say
would
that. They would. You put down what you did. All right, so girls...
It was funny because when I went for the Pirelli audition, I was in Broadstairs. There was one place we did kind of move up and we went from Sea Salter to Broadstairs, which is kind of... had a history of Dickens and everything. It's basically the only place in Kent Coast you go. But my family used to go there. And so I used to, I was very close to my family. The ones that I'm close to, they're all past actually. But the Uncle Betty, Uncle Ted. So I remember Uncle Ted, I had this Pirelli audition. I was on the beach with Mum and Dad and like my niece and, stuff. Uncle Ted always smoked his pipe. Anyway, it was a huge thing because Uncle Ted decided he was going to give me a lift to Broadstairs Station. And it was like, Ted, that's big that Ted's, doing that. Because he was known for not really doing a lot of things for people. So he drove me to the station to go up for the Pirelli calendar. And so I remember that very well because it took me it finished the Broadstairs holiday. I had to go to the bloody Bahamas.
So when you went to the Pirelli calendar audition, what did you have to do at the audition?
I think I talked.
Just talked. That must have been exhausting for them. They must have needed a lie down after that. So when you talked...
It was Martin Watt so much.
So
I think that it had a lot of publicity. It always has a lot of publicity, but it had extra publicity because the Pirelli calendar hadn't been published for 10 years.
Right,
And it was like they were bringing it back after 10 years. And that art director was a very big art director called Martin Walsh, who's still going. And it was a fantastic photographer called Uwe Omer, German photographer. And it was very technical. It was all dummies and stuff to do with the logo of the Pirelli print.
Right.
And it was very technical and it was difficult. It was a difficult shoot, but it was fantastic. It was a part of Bahamas that was really fantastic. And we had fun. So the thing is, I've got to say that I don't know how much fun they have nowadays. When I did modelling, when I did so I did a cough and a spit in... because I've been travelling for years, but I did a cough and a spit in Linda La Plante, and it was very nice. I've got my Winnebago and I've got my couple of bottles of wine and stuff, but which is always important. But all the camaraderie, which Liam, you will be able to relate to. I mean, I've done commercials with Liam, and we had like, it was all about laughs, right?
It's very fun.
Yeah.
It was all about laughs, it was all about fun, it was all about, everyone was very creative in the 80s, and there was incredibly, you know, I have to say, there were big budgets, weren't there, commercials and everything. But everyone delivered, because they were very, very, you know, a lot of the people I worked with went on, you know, from Tony Scott, a lot of them
went on to big things.
Yeah, they all became Hollywood directors. Yeah. But there was all this camaraderie, so you would have from the tea boy to the makeup to the wardrobe, there was all this. When I did the Linda LaPlante, the atmosphere on the set was, you know, when I did a night shoot on location, there wasn't the fun that there used to be. And apparently what I found out on that shoot, I don't want to get sued if I'm wrong, so there was a night shoot and there was a second AD talking to someone. He said, in the back of the bus, and I was listening, and he said, you know what happened, mate? He said, this is a 6-week shoot. They wanted us to do it in 4. You know and I know how many mistakes have been made, but let's say they did it and then there'd be one. So it seems like everything's tighter. And so all that like high and
goes out the window because everybody is rushing.
I have to say I'm not friendly with I had great times with this couple, but I'm not friendly with them anymore. But she was a producer for Ken Russell. Ken Russell, I think, was a great director and did great stuff. But we were talking about it in my sort of lots of drunken scenarios I had with her, which I'm very grateful for. I've got great memories of Bob and Piggy and drunken scenarios in the basement. But we've always talked about that it doesn't seem there's, obviously if you're a superstar, it's probably different, but there's not the fun that there used to be in business in general, am I right?
Totally right. Yeah,
so I'm very grateful because, you know, I mean, when I did leave, like, I was thinking before absolutely beautiful you look. Absolutely
It's very
beautiful.
kind.
So
the light's going dark now.
You've got a great sense of humour. Like, but I'm not a lesbian. I'm actually, I don't really fancy older. I did have to think about older. That's the problem. Men my age, do I find them incredibly attractive? Not really. I have to say, not really. There must be. And I bet they're all going, we don't find you fucking attractive either, darling. I know that, but. Anyway, so there was lots of fun, and the Bahamas trip was great fun. I had my birthday out there, and they all did this, unbeknown to me, Martin Walsh being the art director, they did all these things where they all dressed up naked. The photographer, everything.
Dressed up naked.
But yeah, dressed up naked.
Can you?
So they all had letters that he'd done saying happy birthday. So every model and the makeup artist and the photographer and the assistant, were holding these placards of like that they're all naked. And then they made a cake specially made that was boobs. Which, like that, then boobs, but it was so much fun. There was lots and lots, I had lots of fun. I'm very blessed in the time I did it, I think.